Nimakoma Kontek Tansei, Nimatane, Atawa Pamtukaka, all my relations. Merci pour être ici aujourd'hui. Nous sommes réunis sur le territoire traité numéro 1. We are here on Treaty 1 territory, homeland of the Anishinaabe Nation, Nehiho Dene peoples. This is the homeland of the Métis Nation. C'est la terre de la nation métisse, le berceau de la langue de Molière, né ici sur les plaines. And Winnipeg is also home to thousands of Inuit peoples. And more importantly, this is the home to each and every one of us, and we all live here together, and it doesn't matter where you're from, or who you are, or who your people are, or how much you own or have in your pockets, we all live here together. Last week, we released our comprehensive plan for addictions and treatment, and today we announced that we fully support End Homelessness Winnipeg, its Reaching Home program, and would bring Winnipeg into the Built for Zero group of communities whose goal is to end chronic and veteran homelessness by expanding emergency, transitional, and affordable housing options for everyone. Last April, through an interim street census, End Homelessness Winnipeg found that there were 1,127 Winnipeggers experiencing homelessness. We can see it in the bus shelters and in the back lanes, our parks, our riverbanks. Homelessness is everywhere in our city. To build the city we all want, we need to address the homelessness crisis. And most Winnipeggers have finally woken up to the level of homelessness impacting our city. While there are a number of housing providers and community groups that focus on housing, there can be a gap between providing housing and the development of new housing. The city, province, and federal governments all have programs designed for housing, but some community groups who look to provide housing lack the experience and expertise necessary to navigate the application process, and we need to rectify this. The city must provide its full leadership to help housing groups who want to end homelessness, from designing, zoning approval, program application, and funding. We can do so much to help more people. If you want to tell them, those who are homeless, that they can't sleep here, then we need to have some place for them to go. Our goal is to support the people and the organizations who want to provide housing, so let's get it done. I was most surprised upon becoming a member of Parliament how different levels of government do not work together. I believed naively that there would be deep thought about our city, about what we can do to help each other to make a difference in our city. So let's actually work together. Our city requires a leader high enough in the circle of power to bring together all the players, but also someone who is close to the people and who understands what needs to be done. When there is a fire, the firefighter does not go where it is easy. So I will regularly convene city council, different levels of government, indigenous governments, community groups, all together to have these deep and profound conversations so we can actually deal with this issue once and for all. Our goal must be to support the people and the organizations who want to provide housing. So let's get it done. We must fully support the End Homelessness Winnipeg and its Reaching Home program, funded in part by the federal government's housing strategy. As mayor, the city will, 1, create 1,340 additional housing units based on identified local needs that will include transitional, short-term, and long-term housing options. 2, eliminate entries into homelessness among youth who are from child and family services, aging out, or disengaging from school. 3, expand the use of homelessness individuals and families information system, HIFIS, to 45 homeless serving organizations and programs as part of a coordinated access system and make sure that all community groups are working together. 4, prevent 90% of those served by coordinated access from re-entering homelessness. It's good to prevent homelessness in the first place. 5, work with Indigenous governments and the federal government to ensure that First Nations, Inuit and Métis peoples living in Winnipeg have their housing needs met. 6, convene regular meetings of all elected provincial, municipal, federal, Indigenous governments, community groups, businesses, and homelessness representatives to discuss what we can be doing to effectively deal with this challenge. For far too long, homelessness and the reasons for it have been ignored, and as mayor, we will no longer turn our heads away from this issue and this health crisis. Affordable housing in the heart of our city. I would like to take us back to early August at a campaign announcement where we encouraged the redevelopment of vacant lots, in particular our downtown core with our parking lots. We want to redo the assessment criteria, taxing them as if a building still stood there. While to do so would require the approval from the Manitoba government, if implemented, the new tax would bring in an estimated $65 million in additional revenue, with some of it earmarked for affordable housing grants by the city. To build the city we all want, we need a vibrant downtown. This means making sure there is access to affordable housing and that new builds include affordable housing which is mixed and also geared to rent income. We should highlight the terrible situation where 20% of our downtown is a surface parking lot, and 20% of that is actually owned by various levels of government. Those government parking lots provide an excellent opportunity for development that includes affordable housing, and we will work with all levels of government and anyone attempting to build housing to use these lands to support their efforts. Far too often there have been community groups that come to see the federal government, but they need land before they can actually start the application process. Let us make sure that they have access to those lands already controlled by our governments. We must start with the easiest opportunities by building mixed affordable housing downtown. We must never forget that more affordable housing with geared to rent income housing is needed throughout the city. Finally, we also need rent geared to income units for more people in our city to ensure that everyone has a place to call home. And we will work with any group anywhere in the city to build affordable housing. To build the city we all want, we need to build that housing, and we need to start right away. Tapuyaki Kitwam, hi, thank you very much. Are there any questions?